They told us the V12 is over. They told us the future is silent, battery-powered, and sanitized. And then this rumor hit the internet like a bottle of premium bourbon smashing onto a marble floor. Cadillac V12 2026. If that sounds insane, good. Because the only way Cadillac wins the ultra-luxury war is by doing something the Germans won't, and something the EV world can't replicate. 12 cylinders of drama, torque, and presence. This is New Car Insider, and today we're talking about the so-called Cadillac V12 2026. What it could be, why it matters, and the exact formula Cadillac would need to pull off to embarrass the establishment. Now, quick reality check before we go full throttle. Cadillac hasn't confirmed a mainstream production V12 for 2026. What we're seeing online is a mix of concept talk, fan renders, and insider whispers. So treat this as a deep, enthusiast-grade breakdown of the most believable direction Cadillac could take if they decide to build the most outrageous American luxury flagship in decades. Because if Cadillac builds a V12 in 2026, it won't be a normal car. It can't be. Let's start with the core question. Why would Cadillac even do this? Cadillac is already pushing hard into electrification and tech-heavy luxury, but the ultra-wealthy market is weird. It's emotional, it's irrational, it's about buying a feeling. Rolls-Royce sells serenity, Maybach sells status, Bentley sells power with polish, and Cadillac needs an identity that doesn't feel like a copy. A V12 is identity in one word. It's not about efficiency, it's not about lap times, it's about pulling up to a five-star hotel and making the valet pause for half a second because the sound is too smooth, too expensive, too arrogant to ignore. So what would a Cadillac V12 have to be? First, the design. This thing would need to look like a Cadillac concept car escaped the auto show and got a license plate. Long hood, short deck, wide shoulders, and a roofline that looks like it was sliced by a katana. Cadillac's signature vertical lighting has to be there, but slimmer, sharper, almost surgical. The grille, massive, yes, but not cartoonish. Think architectural, like a skyscraper entrance, not a fish mouth. And the stance matters. A flagship V12 can't look tall, soft, or SUV-ish. Even if Cadillac makes it a four-door, it has to sit low and wide, with wheels that look like they belong on a private jet, the kind of car that looks expensive even when it's parked badly. Second, the engine. The reason you're here. If Cadillac does a V12 in 2026, I don't think they'll chase the highest horsepower number. Instead, they'll chase the best torque curve and the best sound signature. You'd expect a twin-turbo V12, not for craziness, but for effortless thrust at any speed. The goal wouldn't be fast for YouTube. The goal would be unstoppable in real life. Imagine this. You're doing 40 miles per hour, you tap the throttle, and the car moves like the world got lighter. No drama, no downshift panic, just a wave. Power in the neighborhood of 650 to 750 horsepower would be believable for a modern flagship, but the headline would be torque, an absurd wall of force number that makes the car feel like it can tow the moon. And Cadillac would need to tune the sound like a signature fragrance, rich at idle, velvet in the mid-range, and a clean, sophisticated scream at the top, more symphony than shotgun. Third, the driving experience, because a V12 Cadillac can't drive like a boat. This is where Cadillac would need to do the hard work. A big engine plus a luxury body can turn into a heavy, sleepy cruiser. That's not acceptable in 2026, or especially when high-performance EVs are humiliating everything in straight lines. So Cadillac would need the full arsenal. Magnetic ride suspension tuned for two personalities, cloud mode and attack mode. Rear-wheel steering to shrink the car in the city. Active anti-roll control so it stays flat in corners without riding like concrete. And a drivetrain that delivers the right vibe, either rear-wheel drive for purity or all-wheel drive for unstoppable traction. If they get this right, the car would feel like a private lounge that can also take an on-ramp like it's late for a meeting. Fourth, the interior. This is where Cadillac can truly destroy the competition. Because here's the truth. The luxury world is bored. Everyone has leather, everyone has screens, Everyone has ambient lighting that looks like a nightclub. Cadillac needs to feel like a modern American penthouse. Minimal, bold, high quality, and confident. Think real materials. Open-pore wood, cold metal, stitched leather that feels hand-finished, and absolutely no cheap glossy black plastic. The seats should be the kind you sink into, with massage that feels like a human, not a robot. Tech should be present but not annoying. The screen layout should be clean and fast, with a sound system tuned like a concert hall. And Cadillac has to nail one thing the Germans often mess up: intuitive controls. Luxury isn't complicated. Luxury is effortless. And yes, if Cadillac is serious, this V12 flagship needs some form of electrification. Not as an identity crisis, but as a cheat code. A mild hybrid system or a small electric assist could smooth stop-start, add instant torque off the line, and let the car glide silently through neighborhoods when needed, without killing the V12 soul. Now let's talk price, because this is where Cadillac has to make a dangerous decision. If they price it like a normal Cadillac, it won't feel special enough. If they price it like Rolls-Royce, people will laugh, unless the product is undeniable. So the sweet spot would be expensive enough to be elite, but still the bold alternative to Europe. The kind of car that makes a Mercedes buyer curious and makes a Rolls buyer annoyed. And the rivals? They're brutal. Mercedes Maybach S-Class, Bentley Flying Spur, Rolls-Royce Ghost. And in a weird way, the fastest EV sedans. Because if an electric four-door is quicker and quieter, the V12 Cadillac needs to win on presence, emotion, and craftsmanship. So here's the big question. Should Cadillac even do this? If Cadillac wants to be remembered, not just respected, yes, because a V12 Cadillac in 2026 is more than a car. It's a statement that America can still build something outrageous, beautiful, and excessive purely because it feels good. And if they do it right, it won't matter whether it's the fastest thing on paper. People don't fall in love with paper. They fall in love with moments, the start button, the idle, the way it pulls onto the highway like it owns the lane, the way it makes other luxury cars feel predictable. Now I want to hear from you. If Cadillac launched a true V12 flagship in 2026, would you want it as a big two-door Grand Tourer or a four-door super luxury sedan that goes after Maybach and Bentley? And would you accept any hybrid tech if it made the V12 even smoother?